Then he's a lucky boy. And not only because he'll have the best warrior this side of the belt to teach him the battle axe.
She'll do her best.
Shula. The beast that threatened your home is tamed. The empire that threatened your people toppled. Might it not be time to cast off your ancestors' glamour and retake your place in the Twins?
Perhaps. It's not as if we have the crystals to maintain the wall much longer. But are we truly safe? Is the world truly ready to accept us for who we are and what we believe? If I remember rightly, you and yours still choose to remain hidden, do you not?
We do.
Well, your people will always be welcome in Haven, regardless.
As will yours in the hideaway. We're allies now. If there's anything you need from us, supplies, food, equipment, do not hesitate to ask.
It's kind of you to offer. But we'll manage, just as we always have. Besides, I suspect you'll be needing everything at your disposal if you're going to save the world.
I fear much of it is past saving. The best we can do is strive to turn what's left into a world where we can all live as equals.
A noble endeavor. And there'll be a place in this world for us, will there? For Walias?
For everyone. I swear it.
Then we shall be waiting. Until the tides bear you back to shore.
Do you think he'll be all right?
Well, yes. Only time will tell. But I can certainly think of worse places to spend one's childhood. The Moats of Water are a fine people, and they will take good care of him.
Up by the Vare, Ultima spoke to me. He called Leviathan his most profaned fragment, and told me to redeem the sins that had laid him low.
Is that so? The sins of Walias's ancestors were grave indeed. To force him to prime at so tender an age.
And to freeze him in time, that he might never know what it was to live.
Yet I doubt either of those crimes was the source of Ultima's displeasure. It was that the Eikon's power had been put to another purpose than the one he intended. To him, Leviathan must have seemed an aberration.
Could that be why Ultima made no attempt to lead me to him? The fear that this profaned fragment might corrupt his vessel somehow.
Perhaps. Or perhaps he simply deemed Leviathan surplus to requirements. Having concluded that his vessel might be made to serve his purposes without the full sum of his power.
His purposes? There's no escaping them. Even here. Hidden away in Mysidia, the blessing of the crystals proved nothing but a prison. A prison into which Walias was born, and from which freedom is hard won. If the world doesn't change, if we don't change it, he'll end up suffering the same fate as every dominant who came before him.
Then we must change it.
That we must.
And we shall.
It is good to have him back.
Reckon my steel's just as good as any. A good tide to you.
This is all we have. Very well. My friend, I have news. I think I might have found a way to break.
Go on.
Well, after listening to I learned that not all Tonberries are the same little green men. The folktales hold that it's the...
So if we slay the one...
But that was my thing. No doubt it'll be easy. It is a perilous proposition.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
So then...
Fan it! Because there's a whole bloody army of them out on the cloak!
What? But why would...
There's only one...
Right. Thank you. And please, be careful.
You wouldn't happen to have some time on your hands, would you?
Don't tell me.
Not quite. It promises to be quite...
All right. Tell me about our quarry.
a fiendish, cold-blooded beast known as a Givra. But I haven't even...
If you'll permit...
Certainly, Yamila.
It's been over a week since We've tried everything to restore her spirit. The healers tell me there's only one hope left.
It isn't only Yamila's sister who stands to benefit from this, by the way.
I'd be glad to help.
Thank you. Our hunters have no shortage of skill, but this time it won't be achieved through weight of numbers either. The Givra is as...
Then it is decided. The two...
Perhaps we might help.
Come then, Clive. There's a Givra that has claimed the ruins at the foot of the mountain. The flesh of a forest ibex should suffice.
To the forest, then.
There's nothing a Givra loves more than a fat haunch of ibex.
There speaks the voice of experience. Do you hunt often?
My lord,
Certainly.
it's a long story.
Yes.
My great-grandmother suspected as much, and it was she whose duty became to attend her grave. A duty that was passed down to me.
I see. And...
Well, until recently, the path to the grave had long been blocked by a fallen tree. But when on trying to clear the rest of the path, you see, we discovered that a flock of bloodthirsty beasts had claimed the cliffs beyond. None of us was a match.
Of course.
Thank you, my lord. The grave is in a...
Why so far from...
It was where she lived. So when she passed away, my great-grand...
How thoughtful. Well then, no time like...
Just so.
Yes?
Hey, mister! Over here! Please, mister, the village is in danger and if someone...
Stop.
Sorry. My name's Eirik. When you went up to the Air of Hours with Miss Shula, well... Lady Shula told us you lot were... But then I lost track of...
Saw
A great big spin out great...
spouts of water.
Well, I did. And I don't ever want to see it again.
All right. If this creature is a...
Thanks, it was over.
then that's where I'll...
I won't go to...
Found her. They're almost at the gate. But they won't be coming any closer. That should buy Haven some time at least.
Clive!
Fine.
I was worried I was going to lose you both. Till...
What?
No, he's hanging on. And I can't imagine there, but I think it might be happening on this very mountain.
If it is, it won't be for long. Get back to Talo.
My thanks.
More of them. Come on, then. I crave an audience with your king. Another group. They don't look very regal. Nice try. Still no sign of the king. Could Fanad have been wrong?
There's dozens of them. The king must be close. We'll have to take care of his followers first.
Looks like that's the last of them. Out here, anyway. But beastmen do like dark places. Well, I'll be damned. A crown. Sorry, Your Majesty, but your reign ends here. It's done. Which means the curse should be broken.
Clive!
It is.
You do? Talor! He's...
Thank you, my lord. I can never repay.
I'm just glad the curse is lifted.
Oh. That, well... you deserve to know. It was years ago now, back in my trading days. I didn't, of course. So eventually they just let me go. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't hardly breathe, and I thought that if I gave my old chain to the Tonberrys, maybe they could take all that pain away. All that anger, but it only made it worse.
Oriflamme has fallen. And the men who tortured you likely fell with it.
If only I'd known, I'd convinced myself that you were like them. That all outsiders were the same, but you're not. Far from it. Thank you, son. Thank you.
Clive, there's something I need to tell you. After we parted ways on the path to the cloak, I went straight back to Talor and explained to him what you were doing on his behalf. And just like that, his pain began to fade.
What do you mean? Just like that? The Tonberry King would have still been alive. I had to contend with dozens of his minions before I found him.
Then... perhaps one of them warned him of your coming and he broke off his ritual. Or perhaps knowing that an outsider was fighting for him was what lifted the weight from Talor's heart. I know from experience that many illnesses are not wholly physical, but of the spirit, at least in part.
Was there ever really a curse then? Or was Talor simply suffering from the pain of his memories? And the guilt of what he'd done? For all the difference it makes. I suppose we'll never know.
Maybe not. But this much I do know. It was your strength and your selflessness that healed his heart in the end.
I'll be sure to tell my healer friend when I get home. This should be the path to Witchdrop. Hungry, Toggle. Farewell. Here's our welcoming party. It's over. Looks like that's the last of them. This must be it.
My lord, thank you for making...
He's a...
Yes. Hardly the most fitting tribute for a dominant, is it? A rough... But my ancestors had only been here a matter of weeks when she passed. Every day was a struggle to survive. Yet they spared what they could to grant her wish, that even in death she might continue to watch over her home.
She lived down there then? In the ruins?
That's right. They were once the living quarters for those who served up in the temple. When the Northern Thanes sent her here to weave her spell, this was where she and her retinue stayed. There were priests, handmaidens, and a knight sworn to shield her from harm. Of course, they were all gone by the time my ancestors arrived.
All except Isay, who remained till the end.
Indeed. At least some years after Isay's passing, you see, my grandmother came. She asked of him who he was and whence he had come, but received no answer. So she told him of how her people had met and cared for Isay, and how she had died. His only reaction was to stare up at the air of hours in silence. Then he left, never to be seen again.
You said he was wearing plate. Was it black and gold? When we went up to the Air of Hours to unravel the spell, we were set upon by a shade in the shape of a knight in... It manifested in front of the Vare.
You think this may have been the same man,
I don't know. All I can say for sure is it was intent on protecting her creation.
Or perhaps her spirit. What remained of her ether, preserved in the Vare. Perhaps his spirit too became...
Till we ended.
If the shade you fought was Issei's night, then ending it was the greatest gift you... And if his spirit should ever return here to visit her...
That they might be together.